Are we on? I do believe we are on. I've just clicked the button anyway. I hope all you guys can hear me right. This is the first time I've done a hangout. Well, I've done YouTube streams before, but not an actual hangout thing. Hello, I can see people already. Oh, God. I can see Louis. Hello to you. I can see Crane Experience. Hello to you too. I'm sure people will be coming in gradually. I just kind of intend to just do a little short, well, not short, however long it takes, I guess, until I get bored Q&A session. I didn't really feel like playing games or anything tonight, so I wanted to do something. I'm bored. Trapped in the house on my own. Of course, the only annoying thing is doing this on YouTube. I can't. The delay here is horrendous. That's the only thing about it. I mean, the chat delay is absolutely horrendous, in fact. I mean, Jesus, there's 4 people here already. 4 people here even before I started. Well, 2 now, but I'm seeing a question already. What sort of music am I into? Well, this is a band I particularly like. You can't really see it because of the mic. I like Crass. I like oh god. I like sort of punky, new wavy stuff mostly. Although I tend to go like all over the shop with music. My favourite artist is Kate Bush. That maybe give you a bit of an idea of the sort of stuff I like. Lots of late 70s, early 80s stuff. And lots of pop. I don't know, with this Google Hangout thing, is the YouTube comments the only thing there is, or is there... I think it is, yeah. I don't know if there's another like sort of page on Google Plus or something which I never go to that has people commenting on it and that I won't be able to see. Typical YouTube. I mean, I could have done this on Twitch, I guess, but then it's a Q&A and I have more people here. Going all the way up to 9 viewers now. Anyway, so yes, Q&A sesh. We are on. We are so on. Is there a way that I can see these comments better? I'm wondering. Hang on. I've thought of something. Viewers. Have I played Muasame Castle? Muasame Castle? I've not heard of Muasame Castle. What is it? Louis. Fuck you, Dean. Nice to see you online, you motherfucking squangy prick. My least favourite race. You're so problematic. Ugh. God. My least favourite race. God. Anyway. I'm not even going to answer that, you piece of shit. My favourite RPG, it would probably have to be the one I did a big 7-part ridiculously long review of. My favourite RPG is Final Fantasy VII. It's got to be. I couldn't really pick any other, to be honest. Especially not after doing that. But yeah, even aside from that, that was my favourite. I played it for the first time Christmas 1997. And I wouldn't say it made me an RPG gamer or anything like that, because it really didn't. I haven't played that many RPGs, to be honest, but that game took over my life for like a year, 2 years. Aside from that, I loved another game that took like a year of my time was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That took so much of my time. Yeah, FF7. Oblivion, with all the mods and that dominated my life for about a year as well. Dominated it so much that, well, for that free aside, that I'd spent hundreds of hours on that. And I kind of got befested out a bit after that was done. But yeah, those two. I tell you, it's weird. I have to Google. I can see myself talking. It's kind of off-putting, this. I have to say. I don't have anything else to share aside from me, so have to make do. What is my job? I'm actually starting a new job next week, funnily enough. I'm going to be doing some support coaching type stuff at a college. But yeah, I'm starting that next week, so looking forward to that. So yeah, that's what I do. Where did I get the idea and the willpower to do A to Z licensed games? And no, hello to you, MTK. Where did I get the idea? Well, I think I had done a few licensed game vids, or for various licensed games at that point. I think I'd done, what, Alien 3, some others for sure. I did like a basketball games videos, things like that. And the idea of doing licensed games interested me quite a lot because of how you can... It's sort of like you can make a video. If you watch a lot of the videos in licensed games, I spend a lot of time talking about the shit surrounding it, almost as much as I talk about the actual games. So yeah, that's where I kind of got the idea from. I just thought, why not do a very massive A to Z, you know? And where did I get the willpower? Well, there was a lot of planning involved, and it was the summer break. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I got the willpower from. I just decided, well, those will be my videos for the summer break. So, yeah, that's why I was doing it. And, oh boy, God, it took so long. What else? What else we got? Yeah, no live games. No, I didn't really feel like it. This game only came in. And yeah, if you notice a bit of a delay in like the answering of questions, YouTube delay is worse than Twitch. So yeah. Am I wearing makeup? Yes, I am, as if you can tell. I won't go too much into it, but yes, I am. I like wearing makeup. I thought I'd make an effort to look especially cunt for this live stream, you know. Get my gothic on. Who's more of a vampire than Edward from Twilight? Marceline or Gangrel? Gotta be Gangrel. Got to be Gangrel. Especially with that entrance and all. The entrance, the spitting of blood coming up from the floor. Gotta be Gangrel. Gotta be Gangrel. Am I wearing pants? Wouldn't you like to know? What's with the random capital S there? Are you wearing pants? This game only came out in Japan, even though it was referenced in Smash Brothers and had a game in Nintendo Land. It's out internationally for the first time on 3DS. Oh, I wish I had a 3DS. I do want a 3DS. I do really want a 3DS, actually. I need to get one at some point. I have various things I want to get when I actually get the new job and get money coming in. 3DS is up there. Modern game I am playing the most these days. Or if there's no such thing, what did I enjoy the most recently from new games? Oh God, what was the last modern game I played? I mean, the last game I played that was totally modern was probably Valiant Hearts, which obviously I did a video on. I'm not really playing that much modern at the moment. I'm playing a lot of PS2 stuff recently. I'm kind of going through all my PS2 games. That's what I'm doing at the moment, because I have another stupid idea in mind that probably will never get done, but hey ho, we'll see what happens. Oh god. But no, there really isn't anything modern that I'm playing these days. I haven't had the money recently to even get anything. When I do get some money, the first game I want to get is actually Trials Fusion. I expect I'll be playing that a hell of a lot. If you were a sweet young 15-year-old boy, would you spend a night at Neverland Ranch? Michael Jackson isn't my type, so no. And that is very problematic again, Dean. Next time I see you, man. Next time I see you, Dean, you ratchety ass son of a bitch, I'm going to take your hair, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to shove it down your throat. Huh? And your beard too. Okay? You alright? Will I buy next-gen consoles, or will I stop at PS3, Xbox 360? I will probably buy a PS4, to be honest. I feel like going back to the PlayStation stuff, and there are lots of games, because I missed PS3 completely. There's lots of games I want to go to there. Stuff like Last of Us and shit like that. Metal Gear Solid 4 as well. So yeah, I'll probably buy a PS4. Do you think we are reaching a tipping point with the representation of minorities in games? No. Maybe we are in the vicinity of a tipping point. But I mean, it's not like. I mean, it depends on what sort of gaming you're looking at. I mean, if you're looking at indie gaming, you do get more diverse stuff there. AAA gaming, kind of, less so. I don't know. I don't really follow things that much. I mean, as far as like my own area, LGBT stuff and that goes, I mean, other minority stuff I can't really speak on, if I'm honest with you. But LGBT stuff is, it's getting slightly better, but I think we're still quite a ways away from seeing, like, you know, a gay character or a bisexual character, or especially a transgender character. I mean, God knows, headlining a game or something, at least in the AAA side of things. Or, you know, being properly represented and stuff. And do I think, what was the other one? Do I think it's important for games to be representative of society? I don't think it's something that's important all the time. I would like more games to be. I mean, again, that's a tough one. I mean, a lot of games are fantasy, and you know, fantasy is fantasy, and that's fine. You know, every game has its own little world. I mean, unless you're doing particularly problematic stuff in that world in terms of, you know, mirroring what your own version of reality is. You know, that's mostly fine. I mean, the thing with games that do try to be representative of society is they usually do a pretty damn awful job of it a lot of the time. And when you look at, I mean, I don't know what games like Far Cry and that do. I mean, it's a fun game, and I mean, the thing with those games, you know, they're still fun a lot of the time, but you know, when they try to get serious, they usually just fall flat on their face. So I mean, it depends. It's a case-by-case thing. It's a question that deserves, you know, it's a question that needs more study, really. Do I make a lot of coin out of my videos? I don't make enough to live on or anything, but I do make a little bit. I make, basically, the amount I make off YouTube every month pays for about 1 or 2 decent nights out, without going into an exact number or anything. It pays for a good night out, a couple of okay nights out, or one really good night out. That's about how much I make. Have I played and read up on Nier? I actually have a copy of Nier, funnily enough. I've played, and I've even played it once. I've played it, I only did 1 session of it, and then for whatever reason, because I have like a kind of bit of an ADD brain, I didn't go back to it. But I played Nier for 1 session for about 2 hours, and yeah, I mean, I really liked that 2 hours I played of it, but I didn't go back to it. I do that with a lot of games. I do still have the copy here, though, and although I don't play anything on my 360 anymore, it might well be something I'd like to go back to, because it did seem quite interesting as far as RPGs go. It did seem quite, you know, heavy going, definitely. Very heavy going. But it was enticing. I play too many fucking games at once is my problem. I don't just start one game and then I finish it. I start loads of games and then never finish any of them. Feel free to ignore me, by the way. I do that already, Dean. You should know that by now. Thank you, Carl. Much appreciated. I noticed Phantasmagoria has been mentioned. I have loads of other games that I'm kind of having interest with. You say it had a bisexual main character. I mean, Jesus. I mean, that is something, because you never see bisexual characters in anything, seriously. I mean, you actually just don't see bisexual characters in anything, as far as I can see a lot of the time. That's interesting to note. Any plans on doing some more larger multi-part reviews like your Final Fantasy VII series? Easily some of my favourite videos on your channel. First off, thank you very much. Yes, I have a plan. Well, I say a plan. I don't really have a plan. But I do have a series in mind that I've been sort of interested in maybe doing for the past few months now. Without revealing, well, notice that I've been doing stuff like true crime, The Getaway lately. Yeah. So it might well end up leading to a multi-part review of Grand Theft Auto. But that's probably not going to happen until GTA 5 comes out for the PC, because I haven't played it yet and I don't really want to play it on 360. So yeah, that's pretty much the only multi-part series at the moment that I have in mind. But I wouldn't mind doing GTA. GTA is one I would actually quite like to do properly. I mean, because it'll be, well, I mean, for starters, it's got all the sort of stuff I normally like doing in videos, social stuff, that is. Got lots of ups and downs, got games I really like, some of my favourite games, got a couple of games that I flat out don't like at all. You know, it's a real up and down stuff. Kind of like what Tomb Raider was. I'm fine, Josh the Original. How are you? Yeah, I do want to play Nier. I will get that. I will get around to that someday. I mean, I say that for hundreds of games. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at because as I said earlier, I'm working on going through a lot of PS2 games. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at a random pile of stuff that I've pulled out, and I can see Killer 7, I can see Yakuza, the original, Silent Hill 2, and Jak 2, all of which I bought for the PS2. And all of which I haven't really played that much, aside from Silent Hill 2, which I've played a bit. I have such a massive backlog, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I know I can't be smoking on telly, but this is the internet, so... No, it's not an e-cig, it's the real thing. Your dad's playing pinball? What, on an actual proper... This is probably a silly question. On an actual pinball machine, or what, just Pinball FX or something like that? Or maybe it's Space Cadet Pinball, 3D Pinball. Why did they ever get rid of that? When Windows 98 XP was around, that was my jam. Space Cadet Pinball. Fucking awesome. Would you ever consider reviewing NBA Jam from an LGBT perspective? I would consider that if you considered doing a video, Dean, in which you put on a GIMP mask, take a pan of boiling hot olive oil, and massage it all over your testes. Dean's all right. He's a bit of a character. I know him. He's all right. Have I played the Turok series? No, I haven't. I'm not really massively into N64 stuff. Or well, I am kind of, but not that. So, no, you probably won't be seeing Turok. Thoughts on console emulation? I have absolutely no problem with console emulation. I mean, I use it all the freaking time, to be honest. I use console emulation a lot. For my videos, I use it a lot too. Mainly because, well, to be honest, I mean, with some of the capture equipment, the capture equipment I have, although I do have the means to capture like real games a lot of the time, for some stuff, particularly Mega Drive stuff, it's terrible. Like I've tried to do real capture and it's just come out utter shite. So usually when it's a Mega Drive video, I use emulation. I don't use emulation all the time for my videos. PS2 stuff, now I'm using the real console. SNES stuff, I usually use the real console. It depends, but yeah, I have no problems with console emulation and I use it a lot. Have I played Other and if so, what are your thoughts? I have watched. The only thing I've watched with Other I've not played it. I don't have a Wii, but I have watched Retsupre do. They did like a one of their MST3K type things where they went through Other M's theatre mode, and my God, the story looked horrible in that game. I mean, it was just really bad. I mean, the commentary in that over it was funny, but the story was holy shit. I mean, God, just what did they do with Samus? Just what did they do with her? Ew. I'm a really big collector of video game memorabilia. Do I collect much of that sort of stuff? No, I don't collect any gaming memorabilia at all. I just, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't have much of an interest in it, and I don't really have any space for it or anything either. I don't know. I only have like my walls and everything are pretty bare actually. With most things, just pictures and shit like that. So yeah, I don't really have any interest in video game memorabilia. Just not my thing. That's all I can really say about that, to be honest. Is the future of gaming on the tablet and/or smartphone, or are dedicated consoles still the future? It depends on how big gaming wants to get on those platforms, I suppose. I mean, I think dedicated consoles, they'll always be around. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be a time when a games machine will not be predominantly geared towards playing games. There's always going to be a space for, the massive, big budget AAA titles. There'll always be a space for that. There'll always be a space for games that cost millions and millions of dollars to make, or pounds, or however. So yeah, I think it'll always be there for me. What are my thoughts on the new Resident Evil remake coming out? I love Resident Evil. I love, love, love Resident Evil. So yes, that is something I'm going to be getting. It is coming out for PC, isn't it? It bloody better be anyway. But yes, I will be getting that for show. Hopefully they'll remake Resident Evil 2 soon as well. Did I play Heroes of Might and Magic 2? No, unfortunately not. It's not that I wasn't offended by Other-M. It was just... No, I wasn't offended by it. I just thought it was a fucking terrible story. I just thought the whole thing, you know, the ridiculous, just unsubtle nature of it. I mean, and the way it wasn't just that they made Samus, you know, a bad, you know, offensive character. They made her a terrible character. It's like, you know, you're so useless, you know, kind of. I mean, she's not the most complex character, but the way, you know, you just think you see Samus being so frightened of Ridley and that, and you just think, no, that's just not right. I just think Yoshio Sakamoto really fucked it up, basically. Would I ever consider reviewing tablet and smartphone games? Not presently, and you want to know why? This is my phone at the moment. It is a BlackBerry Curve. It's basically not even powerful enough to play Snake. So I don't really have the facilities to review any tablet and smartphone games at the moment. So yeah, that's the reason why not. What brought about the whole gamers are spoiled and entitled thing? Okay, that's right. Okay, the thing with that is when I say stuff like that, normally when I say things like that, it's in response to something shit happening, usually. When gamers do, or when a group of gamers anyway, just they act like what I would consider people like non-gamers stereotype or perceived stereotype of what gamers are, which is, you know, generally quite negative, which is one of the reasons I generally don't like the word gamers as it is. I mean, if you mean something specific, like, I don't know, like I Am a Gamer video I did that one time, it's kind of like that was in response to me just seeing a video where someone was literally talking like, you know, actually like made a video saying, oh, why should I do anything with my life when I've got video games, and actually being serious about it. And I just thought, Jesus Christ. And then you have other things like that have pissed me off in the past, like, you know, oh God. Like, say when Dino Abu Karam got hired to be the community manager for Mighty Number 9, and people were just getting so ridiculous about it. It's like, why have you hired this woman who has expressed feminist views? She should be sacked for doing, well, nothing, for, like, doing a couple of, like, pictures one time of Mega Man as a woman, or Mighty Number 9 as a woman, or whatever. And when I see shit like that, it just pisses me off. Or when I see shit like the reaction to Anita Sarkeesian's Kickstarter, that pisses me off. Or all the reactions, basically, I mean, reactions to things just get so problematic at times. It's almost like whenever something comes along, I feel like that's not aimed at the general main, you know, now this is going to sound, but, you know, the main normal typical gamer market, people just scream. They just really scream, and it pisses me off. So that's where it comes from a lot of the time. It comes out of a place of anger. Oh God, what else? I spent quite a lot of time on that. Would I want to work in the games industry down the road? To give a short answer to that, no. To give a long answer to that, no. No. No, I have absolutely no desire to work in the games industry whatsoever. None. Just not my field. What else? What else? What am I doing job education-wise at the moment? I'm starting work as a progress coach next week. Yes, Internet Aristocrat. I've seen that guy's videos. Yeah. I don't have a massively positive opinion. Just think the guy's a fucking arsehole, so there you go. That's basically it with that one. I mean, if he wants to make videos, you know, overreacting to people being hired to manage a fucking forum, then that's his prerogative, I guess. But hey ho. Lots of market to be a cunt on YouTube. I'm doing it right now. Also, the Resident Evil remake is actually the one that was on GameCube previously. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool, because I haven't played that either. I didn't have a GameCube. So, yeah, I'm definitely just so up for the Resident Evil remake. What is a progress coach? It's basically helping students. It's going to be in a college. It's helping students, just hit their targets and that. Helping them with their work, mostly. That's basically it. Setting them targets, week on week, month on month. Helping them out. It's a support job. God, Resident Evil 2 was my first Resident Evil. Loved that game so damn much. No, I've just left Seek. I finished my degree a couple of months ago, so no, I'm not there anymore. But yes, I used to call it a testicle too. I used to call it, well, scrotum, I think, was what I generally called it. A big swollen scrotum. What is a video game? Oh, God. That sounds like one of those really fucking poncy extra credits PBS game show type things. What is a video game? Let's talk about it for 15 minutes while I adjust my glasses in a sensitive manner. Yeah, I can kind of, well, being a fan of both, well, a former fan anyway of wrestling, more follower now, and obviously being a big gaming fan, I mean, obviously. Yeah, I can see that. There is definitely that sort of thing. Mind you, a lot of the stuff that's... Mind you, I say that, but I mean, I've never had, in the sort of, wrestling community, I've never really seen, amongst fans anyway, like, with things like, say, women's wrestling and stuff like that, I've never seen anyone complain about women's wrestling. Normally, the consensus, at least on the wrestling communities that I've been around, is that the better the women's wrestling is, the more people are actually going to like it. People always say, at least in the communities that I've been in for wrestling, you've got some real talent in your female division, with WWE and stuff like that. Why don't you use it more? And actually have good matches and shit like that. People actually want to see good women's wrestling. Whereas, I don't know, if you had the same question with gaming, you'd probably have people putting up a bit of a stink. What is Peter Capaldi? He'll always be Malcolm Tucker to me. I mean, partly because I don't really watch Doctor Who, but Peter Capaldi will always be Malcolm Tucker, and that's always just what I'm going to see whenever I see the trailers for Doctor Who. I'm just going to be seeing that. Do you want to be Steam friends? Add me on Steam. My username on Steam is the same as it is on here. Add me on Steam. I don't go on it that much, but I will add back. Why have I still not played FTL? Dean. These things have to age like fine wine and take time, They just have to age. The moment has to be exactly right, There's one day, I'm gonna put some candles up and that. I'm gonna pour myself a nice glass of 15-year-old port or some shit, and then I will play FTL. Okay? That's when. Will I be getting WWE 2K15? No, probably not. Which is kind of, I mean, the reason why, it's not because I'm not interested in it, because I actually really am. I mean, I'm looking at some of the stuff that I see for 2K15, some of the screenshots, they look so damn good. They really look damn good. But it's not on PC. And that's the only thing that's stopping me from playing it, because I do have a 360, but I never use it. So I know that if I bought 2K15 on there, I'd probably play it once and then never play it again, and I'd have just wasted 40 quid. Whereas if it was on PC, I'd play it loads more, but it's just not on there. So that's the only reason why I'm not getting WWE 2K15. I think it looks brilliant. I think it looks the best that a WWE game has looked in years. I mean, thank God 2K Games got hold of the license and set Visual Concepts to work on it. You know, the same guys who do NBA, because that's going to give the series a massive kick up the arse that it has needed for so fucking long. For so long. And I'm sure it's going to be a great game, but unfortunately I'm not going to be playing it. What else? Hulk Hogan's birthday today. Oh, awesome. And a big Hulk Hogan birthday celebration episode. I wonder if they'll say in that birthday celebration, oh yeah, and don't forget guys, if you want to watch all the great Hulk Hogan matches, you can go on the WWE Network and it costs just $9.99. They'll probably say that about 200 times, don't they? You know they will. The NWO are reuniting tonight. What? Jeez, I might actually have to watch Raw. I didn't know the NWO were going to be reuniting tonight. Anyone who's watching, is anything happening with that Nation of Domination thing? I heard they were coming back, or they were sort of a new NWO-esque stable was. I'm not going to say my real name online, man. Sorry. Do I play Dark Souls? I've played a bit of Dark Souls. A little bit. I've not quite got into it yet. I'm sorry, I can't say my real name online. It breaks the illusion. The other music I like, mostly 70s, 80s punk stuff and shit like that. Punk new wave stuff. That's my thing. And modern pop. Lots of that. I like everything. CM Punk says some Tumblr idiot. Yes, that's something that always annoys me. I love how everyone... I mean, I don't use Tumblr myself, but whenever someone says something, you know, it's like, oh, some... People equate the whole of Tumblr with something some really ridiculous 13-year-old says. It's kind of amusing sometimes. Anyway... Would I ever do a review of the Dreamcast and all of its underrated games? Kind of miss the Dreamcast. I missed the boat on that a little bit. I have a Dreamcast, but I don't know all that much about it, so I would need to educate myself on the Dreamcast a lot first before doing that. No, Ukes are still working on WWE games. They're still doing them, but 2K, when they bought the license off the now dead THQ, they decided with 2K15 to put in Visual Concepts to help out, basically, rather than just leaving it to Ukes, because we all know Ukes are a bunch of lazy bastards. So they've put in Visual Concepts to work on it as well. You had no idea I was a wrestling fan. My most popular video is on wrestling games. Top 10 best and worst WWE WCW games, which I did as part of the A to Z of licensed games series. I checked that today. It has 80,000 views. Could not believe. 80,000 fucking views. Shh. I heard the group was going to be, I heard it was going to be Big E, Kofi and Xavier Woods. Not Mark Henry as well. Because that's something I'd like to see. And I mean, well, if they just have it like that and then don't give them a name or anything, then they're just it's gonna be 3 people who they aren't doing anything with, and they're gonna continue not doing anything with them. So they may as well just make it bloody Nation of Domination again. Just do it. Just bring it back. Hell, bring back JC Ice and Wolfie D and D'Lo Brown and The Godfather and just bring back Ron Simmons to say damn every once in a while. It'll be the Nation of Domination, and it'll be cool. Triple H thinks anyone who doesn't subscribe to the network is cheap. That doesn't surprise me. Good old Trips. The cuntitude of Triple H is just endearing at this point. If I bought you a copy, would you do a full 10-minute Dude Bro style review of Call of Duty Black Future Ops Warfare, or whatever the next one's called? If you bought me a copy, then yeah, sure. If you honestly wanted to do that. Mind you, you could just go for Bro Team for that sort of stuff, and they'll do it better than I will. I don't know if any of you guys watch Bro Team, actually. Bro Team's pretty cool, or they used to be anyway. Mark Henry's teaming with Big Show. That sounds crap. Bring back the Hall of Pain. Hall of Pain was awesome. That was around the time when I was seriously following wrestling. Well, yeah, that, and also he probably feels that way because, well, he's Triple H and he's in a massive wrestling bubble that's wholly disconnected from reality. And the fact is, as good as the WWE Network is for, you know, very huge, big wrestling fans, it's probably not as big a deal for like a more casual wrestling fan, to be honest. Even with like even if it's even probably worth it if you're just watching the pay-per-views. It's still probably not something you'd want to go through. Favourite one play from Wets of Prey? Darkseid 2. I loved that for just the game itself, and I loved it for the way it was played. As much as it was just so relentlessly, my God, boring to watch, and you could feel the frustration every time Mike Dawson was just standing around doing nothing or backtracking through everything. I just loved that ridiculous style. So yeah, Darkseid 2 for me. MMA. I've watched a bit of MMA. I used to be a fan. I haven't really watched for a couple of years. To be honest, my interest in MMA died when Anderson Silva got knocked out. I used to love him. I used to absolutely love watching Anderson Silva. But yeah, I dabbled in and out with UFC for a couple of years. Pretty much out now. I don't really follow it. I've stopped being able to watch it for free on British television, which didn't help. So yeah, because they used to show the UFC pay-per-views on ESPN for free, so I'd tape them and watch them the next day. But yeah, then they stopped, and that was that. See you, Dean. Good night. A new wrestler is debuting tonight named Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. Mystery opponent. Default wrestler. Oh, God. Have I planned on doing a review on a certain game but someone managed to beat you to the punch? Well, actually, now that you mention it, that did kind of happen with Final Fantasy VII. Because I started the review of it, and then I think it was pretty much around exactly the same time the Completionist started doing his one for Final Fantasy VII, which was kind of like, so we were kind of doing it at like the exact same time. And of course, I'm a hell of a lot smaller reviewer than the Completionist is, so I think the videos, I mean, although it's Final Fantasy VII and there's millions of videos on that, I don't think that helped. I think they got swept away a little as far as, you know, viewership goes, as much as I'm still proud of the videos. But once I'd started, even though the Completionist was doing his, still had to continue. The most recent WWE game that I have, the most recent one that I had was WWE 12. That was the last one I bought properly, but I sold it. I played SVR 2011 quite a lot. But yeah, WWE 12. that was about the time that I kind of switched from 360 to PC. So yeah. Okay. Would I like to be a guest for your 24-hour wrestling game live stream? Intriguing. What on what Twitch or something like that? Oh, I presume you'd be doing the calls and that on Skype or whatever. When are you doing this? Oh well, you can or what you can do, Ginnywox, is throw me details via PM or something on a YouTube or whatever. Yeah, throw me the details and there. I might be interested. Could pop in for an hour or two. Depends on when you're doing it though. I have not seen Guardians. I am kind of curious though as to how they're going to handle Batista when he comes back. If we're going to be shooting the shit about wrestling, that is. I'm curious as to see what happens, whether they're going to have him be a heel or a face, seeing as he's just been in the biggest movie in the world and actually got decent write-ups for it. WWE Crush Hour. Oh, yeah. I played a bit of Crush Hour for the licensed game stuff. I'm not really into car combat or anything. It wasn't horrendous. It wasn't good. It was far from good. It wasn't horrifying. I've played a lot worse wrestling-related games than Crush Hour. It's just like a poor man's Twisted Metal. I don't have massive interests in car combat anyway. Favourite non-wrestling game? Well, I have loads of favourite non-wrestling games. Just look at the stuff that I do on my channel. Super Metroid, FF7, bloody loads. To be honest, I don't really play that many wrestling games. Not lately, anyway. I go through periods where wrestling games have dominated proceedings, and then they tend to not. It depends how big a fan I am of the product at the time. The wrestling game I've played the most is Fire Pro Returns. What else we got here? Yeah, I've played a bit of Dark Souls. I did answer this question previously, but yeah, I've played a bit of Dark Souls. I haven't really got into it yet, though. I'm shit at it, but then everyone's shit at Dark Souls when they start, so I gather. The reason why WWE Crush Hour wasn't on the top 10 worst wrestling games list was because I was trying to be I was sticking basically to wrestling with that video. And Crush Hour, although it's related to wrestling, is not a wrestling game, sort of like either simulation or arcade. So that's why I didn't put it on there. Although I easily could have. And I did bend the walls to put an ECW game on there, but then I thought that would be funny to have the sort of ECW invades the list. Someone commented on that recently and said that the video was bending the truth because it had an ECW on there, or a game on there, and I was thinking, oh God, just fuck off. Do I like fighting games? I like playing fighting games a hell of a lot. God, I've played so much Street Fighter 2, Tekken, Bushido Blade. I played a load. Lots of different fighting games. I'm shit at them. I'm really shit at fighting games, to be honest, but I like playing them anyway. I love playing them with friends. I got Fire Pro, actually. I got it when it came out on a Japanese import. So yeah, I bought Fire Pro Returns Japanese import when it came out in 2004. So yeah, that's how I got it. The PS2 I have is not. I haven't primed it up to play import games, so I can't play it at the moment. Whatever happened to the second part of the video where I looked at games that got missed out? I think it kind of got to the point with the licensed game series. By the time I got to the letter Z, I had kind of thought of letter Z as right, that's the finish. So yeah, that's kind of why I ended up not doing that in the end. With the second half of the list, when a lot of the letters in there, to be honest, there wasn't that many games associated with them anyway, which is why I kind of spent a lot of time in the second half of the list doing top tens or various things like what was there? There was the obscure adverts in Amiga Games vid. There was the weird licensed games vid, so that I could just shoehorn something in for Y. But yeah, I think I just kind of, by the time I got to Z, I was like, okay, I've had enough of licensed games. I'm just going to take a break from them. So that's why I didn't do the second half. I've actually, I recently played that Samurai Pizza Cats game, funnily enough. It was quite good, actually. It was, I played it. It was a decent little NES platform. It's not something I would have done a review on, because I couldn't think of that much really to say about it, aside from it being a quite good NES game. It might be something I'll do on a live stream at some point, actually. It was okay. It was pretty good. I just decided to play it literally at random. I was like, I'm bored, I want to play a game. Oh, I'll play this one. I remember someone saying it to me a little while back. WWF with Authority. The name rings a bell, but no, I don't remember that one actually at all. Sorry. Soz to disappoint. What else have we got? Have I missed out anything? No, not really. No, I've not seen the series. Myself, I don't really do them. I mean, it's like a Japanese cartoon series. Now, I don't have much knowledge of Japanese cartoon stuff, Japanese anime or anything like that, aside from the odd Studio Ghibli film, like Princess Mononoke and stuff like that. That's all I know. And like Akira, which I think I saw years ago. Any tips on editing software to get? Editing software, well, okay, this is a subject I can talk on for show. Myself, I use Sony Vegas. I use Vegas for everything, basically. So that's the one that I prefer, and I would definitely recommend that. I mean, as far as high-end video software goes, it's great. But it depends. I mean, if you're on a Mac, obviously you might want to consider Final Cut Pro, depending on if you're on a Mac, or Adobe Premiere. I mean, I think Lowe's might be better if you're on a Mac than Sony Vegas. If you're on PC, obviously then you don't have the Final Cut Pro selection, but then you've got Premiere and you've got Vegas. And I don't think there's really anything else. It depends on how much money you want to spend, obviously, or if you're going to spend any money at all. Not that I'm suggesting that you should download this stuff illegally, but, you know, needs must sometimes. But yeah, Vegas would be my recommendation, because that's what I always use. That's what I'm comfortable with. But it's all case by case. They're all generally fairly easy to get into. You just need to know the ropes. Oh, a card game. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember there being a WWE card game. I just don't remember it being called With Authority. Okay. And also, I mean, again, the thing with editing software, I mean, it does kind of, well, I don't know, it does depend a bit on what videos you want to make. I mean, if you want to make something, quite complicated, then yeah, you definitely want to go with something like Vegas. I mean, if you're just going to make vlogs, you can, or whatever, you can probably still get away with using Windows Movie Maker. I mean, I don't know how, the quality is on that, It's all about, the output in the end. If you want good output, you need to get good editing software. Oh yeah, I can certainly relate to that, having to download bootleg versions and that of stuff. It's nice when stuff finally does get official DVD releases. I mean, I used to be pretty big into UK comedy and things like that, and yeah, there was a lot of stuff that you just could not get anywhere, and you just had to rely on just cheap TV versions for stuff. A lot of which has no hope of being released on DVD anyway. But then sometimes stuff comes out, and it's like, yay, at last. I mean, it's amazing how long it took for something like the freaking Day to Day to come out on DVD. Xbox One or PS4? I don't know yet because I don't have either. But I would probably get a PS4 if, I had to choose. Yes, I've been hearing a lot about this Twitch Content ID thing. Uh, well, it's going to come. I mean, stuff like that is just going to come, really. You know, copyright laws are so outdated and so shit, and when you do stuff like this, you have to appease these outdated copyright laws because that's people probably consider that easier than actually making any effort to change them. I mean, and of course the thing is, I mean, it being archived streams, I mean that a lot of people aren't affected by that, but a particularly big community that is affected by that is a speedrunning community. Speedrun communities rely a lot on their archived streams. And with them all being muted and shit like that, not even just for licensed music, but for like original game music that comes through the course of playing the bloody game, yeah, they're going to regret it. It's created a massive stink, and people will move because of it if they keep it up. See you, MDK2. Take care. Thank you for joining in. No, I don't play Minecraft at all. I've never played even the slightest bit of Minecraft. It's yeah. I wouldn't say it's something I'm not interested in. I've just not played it. Just one of those things that's passed me by. I think it's kind of more suited for. I mean, Minecraft is an absolutely brilliant thing for younger people. It's absolutely brilliant for that. It's just not. I don't know. It depends. It's not really geared towards me. I guess I feel that way. So I've never had interest. I played Terraria, which was kind of similar, and I couldn't get into that. Any plans on streaming Smash TV? Could maybe do at some point. We shall see. It's definitely a game that I love. I love Smash TV. It's a fantastic arcade game. The thing with Hitbox, a lot of people have been saying about Hitbox that it's run by people who used to run another like gaming specific streaming web page. See you, Louis. Take care. Yeah, that another specific streaming gaming page called Owned, which then kind of fell apart because they didn't pay anyone any money for their streams. That's a lot. That's a lot of thing I've heard about Hitbox. That is kind of bad. But the thing is, though, if Hitbox get as big as Twitch, yeah, they'll probably end up running into the same content ID scheme as well. Because that's the thing with copyright law. Copyright law is set up so that people, copyright owners, the big publishing houses, whatnot, make money every way they can. They won't just say, oh, well, you can just do it a lot of the time. They'll just say, we want our piece of the pie. So, yeah. If it gets big enough for the big copyright heads to start noticing, then yeah, there will be a content ID scheme on there too, probably, unless copyright law drastically changes, which, is like, it's like, not going to happen. Not in our lifetimes, probably. I was trying to think of a cute little metaphor and I failed. Ugh. I need a script for this sort of thing. My favourite game of 2014 so far is Valiant Hearts. I thought that was a really superb platformer puzzle game, and I loved, I'd been waiting quite a while for like a game like that to be based, around World War One, because World War One's kind of a subject that interests me in a lot of ways, particularly lately, because been doing kind of a lot of stuff like that just outside of videos and that. So yeah, Valiant Hearts for me. Although I haven't played that many, tell you the truth. I always catch up at the end of the year. That's what I tend to do with games. I catch up on everything and crunch at the end of the year, just like, oh, right, here's all the games that I'm interested in. Let's just go. Do I have a PS1? Yes, I do, and I still keep. Although I have because I have a PS2 connected at the moment, but I still keep my PS1 around because my PS2 is component. It's set up for outputting component, and you can't output PS1 games on the PS2 through components. So yeah, I still keep a PS1 around. I love the PS1. I love the PS2. So yeah, those are videos I tend to do. Would I make a video about it sometime? I have actually made a video about Valiant Hearts. There is a Valiant Hearts video. If you, I'm sure someone will give you the link, but yeah, it's on my page. If you go to my channel page, you will find it. Any game that I'm looking forward to over the next couple of years? Oh God, I hate questions like this. I'm so out of the loop a lot of the time. And I'm definitely out of the loop at the moment. Oh, God. I'll just say the new Tomb Raider game. I'm trying to think of stuff that I watched, like trailers of around E3 and stuff that interested me. Bayonetta 2 as well. I haven't seen much on that, but it's freaking Bayonetta, so I'm going to love it anyway. I need to get a Wii U before I can play that, though. I'm so bad with upcoming games. I don't know that games are coming out until they actually come out. I just don't keep up with previews and shit. Yes, so that's probably one of the main reasons why I couldn't be a video game journalist or anything like that. What's my favourite movie? Oh God, now that is a difficult one. My favourite movie. Oh God, this kind of all depends on the day. Once Upon a Time in the West is a favourite of mine, that classic spaghetti western. Amelie. If I want stuff that's more actiony, I'd go for the Terminator, Terminator 2, RoboCop, anything Hong Kong John Woo, like Hardboiled and The Killer. What else? Lots of different foreign films. Gangster #1, Get Carter. I have loads. I have loads of favourite films, to be honest. Before Sunrise. Looking forward to Lara Croft's boobs. That's very problematic. Very, very problematic. Yeah, people did get a bit upset about Bayonetta 2 being a Wii-only title. And yeah, it didn't perform, so it's kind of lucky that there even is a Bayonetta 2. It is kind of, lucky, so, needs must. And I'll be honest with you, that I didn't cry about it, but I didn't cry or get all angry about it, but I mean, I was kind of like, oh, Bayonetta 2's on Wii U, disappointing. But I will probably end up buying a Wii U because of Bayonetta 2, because I want to play that game for sure. What about extreme cinema? Caligula, a Serbian film, Antichrist, etc. I've watched Antichrist. Antichrist, Lars fucking von Trier. Antichrist was a very interesting film to break down and that. I mean, it was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched, for sure. It was very, very uncomfortable. But interesting in a lot of ways. It's a very hateful movie. Very complicated movie. It's so beautifully made, but my God, the subject matter in it is just fucking detestable at points. I mean, the things that, Charlotte Gainsbourg's character, goes on about, that whole, the misogynist nature of it. I mean, because it's, that's kind of what Lars von Trier is all about a lot of the time. He's one of those directors I have a lot of respect for, but the other stuff you mentioned, I mean, Serbian film I will never watch. Caligula I'll probably watch at some point. I've watched bits of Caligula. I mean, how could I not? Have I ever thrown up while watching a movie? No. I came a bit. Actually, speaking of Antichrist, I might have came a little close there. And there was another kind of extreme cinema film that was discussed in Salo. I watched that. That was released in the 70s. Salo is fucking disgusting. I thought it was a really good film, but it was fucking absolutely horrible at points. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Salo.